People often ask me, what's the coolest thing you know about the brain? It's so hard to answer because everything is cool to me about the brain. It's why I studied neuroscience for 12 years. However, one thing stands out for me, and that is synesthesia. Synesthesia is a phenomenon that affects about 4% of the population, where sensory modalities get crossed. That's a fancy way of saying that words and sounds, and sometimes even numbers, are perceived as having color and dimension. In some cases, synesthetes, that's what these people are called, literally see visual representations of colors relating to sounds or words in their mind. For example, the number 9 might be accompanied by a block of the color yellow. Or when they hear the word turtle, they might see a green shape. In some cases, synesthetes have a sort of internal knowledge that words or numbers just have a color associated with them. The word unicorn might be purple, or the number 4 will be associated with the color blue. I know, it's amazing! Here's how we think it works. There are 4 lobes of the brain that are roughly divided up by function. The frontal lobe is responsible for complicated thinking and impulse control. The occipital lobe handles all visual processing. The parietal lobe is in charge of movement and sensation, and the temporal lobe helps us speak, hear, and understand complicated combinations of the two. While the exact mechanism of synesthesia is not agreed upon by all neuroscientists, here's what we do know. The regions of the brain responsible for listening to words and processing them and seeing things are right up next to each other. Areas of the brain have anatomical names, but most of us refer to them by what's called a Brodmann number. Brodmann areas were named by a German anatomist whose name was Corbinian Brodmann in 1909. Brodmann area 37, also known as the fusiform gyrus, is part of the color processing area of the occipital lobe, but it's also part of the auditory processing, which is handled by the temporal lobe. So this region is strongly implicated in synesthesia, and also dyslexia, and also something called prosopagnosia, where you can't recognize faces, even your own. Anyway, the brain is an unbelievable, overwhelmingly awesome organ, and it is full of mystery and complexity and beauty. Synesthesia is just one example of mixed messages turning into something profound, intricate, meaningful, and powerful. It's a source of wonder, creativity, and a deeper understanding we neuroscientists have about how the brain communicates within itself, and how complex and beautiful the processing of language, sound, and color actually is.